3, 2, 1. Moose.
Man.
What's up, brother? How are you?
It's been a long time, bro.
It has been. How are you, Habib? You've been trying to plan this for a while.
Yeah, bro.
It's 2 a.m. How do you feel about that?
It's the grind, bro.
It is the grind. انت بتعمل ايه يا ابني؟ انت كنت في المعادي تلعب باسكتبول وقبل كان عندك شغل؟ Am I correct?
Yeah, and so I work at real estate now. I'm basically a property consultant.
And he's 24.
Huh?
And he's 24. That's the fucking grind.
But,
that's the hustle.
Yeah, bro. But it's just it's a good experience, you know, like just learning, like kind of being an adult and like growing up and.
What got you into that though?
Honestly, I like we had like a lot of like kind of like properties everywhere, so it was kind of like in my own interest to kind of like get into it and kind of know how things go, what the market's like, stuff like that. So,
I love that. All right, so I know you. We don't know each other. We know each other personally, but we weren't really close ever. But I feel like this podcast is gonna change a lot.
No, for sure.
But yeah, like give كده not a quick introduction, but just touch on who you are, what you've been through الدنيا دي كلها. If you're comfortable, if you're up for it, كده
no, for sure.
And we can shoot at it على طول.
So my name is Mustafa. I go by Moose. I grew up in Dhahran, which is like a small city in Saudi, and it was literally the perfect place to grow up, honestly. Like,
مع ان الناس كتير قوي بيقول like they bash on Saudi.
But that's the thing. Like, if you like people that live in Saudi actually know that once you live in a compound or once you live like inside of a gated community, you're set.
You're good.
Yeah, you get away from like the outside like influence of Saudi, you know. But so that's it, and like that's where I learned everything. That's literally where I call home. Yeah, shout out to
Saudi. Yeah, Dhahran. All right, bro. I know you've been wanting to start a podcast for a while, and I know you've been wanting to share your story. I know mainly اللي انت عايز تتكلم في اكتر من حاجة about your life, about experiences that you've been through. I remember you wanted to talk about حاجة لها علاقة بhustle and but at the same time keeping your mental health and being at peace.
Right.
Yeah. So مبدئيا, are you going to start the podcast? And if you are, why do you want to start it? Like what drove you to start it?
Honestly, like the thing is when Corona first started, you know, everyone was just sitting at home. No one knew what to do. No one knew.
احنا اتكلمنا في رمضان اللي فات. Yeah, I think
it was Ramadan.
I think
it might have been.
Yeah, it
like
might have
around
been.
then. Yeah, for sure. And like that's kind of where the idea started. Like where it's like a casual thing to have, like just a convo with someone. You know what I mean? Like kind of just like a way to catch up and like all the shows basically for sports and everything, news, all that, they all do the same thing. I mean, they video chat each other and stuff, so it's kind of the same idea, but like having the podcast and like learning a new skill, learning how to edit, learning how to like market, do all that was like the whole idea.
I feel like podcasts عامة are extremely underrated. مع ان دلوقتي اليومين دول انت عارف basically everyone and their grandma have a podcast. Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's starting to pop. It's everywhere. It's the new hoodie. It's the new hoodie hype. عارف اللي هو لما تحس ان في حاجة starting to spike. So podcasts are starting to spike, which is good. Which is good. I feel like everyone should try new things, do their shit. But then again, I feel like this is such an undermined medium. عشان the amount of expression that people are كنا لسه ليتي بنتكلم قبل ما like before we hit record كنا ليتي لسه بنتكلم in like this medium is just made for people to be as casual and as comfortable as possible.
Right.
And I feel like that speaks a lot to what a podcast platform should be. But then again, it's going to probably go into the mainstream of and then you're selling something on it or you're trying, which by the way isn't مفيش مشكلة في ده.
No, for sure.
Again, like to me a podcast is supposed to be all right, so now you have the opportunity to talk for hours and hours and hours.
Exactly.
So you might as well use it to be true. to be super unfiltered, to be this is just what I think. Like
and like I honestly I agree, and I feel that like the whole purpose of podcasts and like talking to other people is trying to get like their views and their understandings and their take on life. You know what I mean? So like it's great to hear the stories, hear the people's experiences, hear what they learned.
100%.
So yeah,
I feel like the premise of this podcast is that it's just to bring on a lot of people that I find interesting and talk about interesting shit. Just literally it. Even if it's ان احنا بنتكلم على ازاي اللعيب ده عمل حاجة فنية. فاهم قصدي؟ literally. فاهم قصدي؟
no, for sure.
But like I feel like I feel like I was blessed enough to know you and know a lot of super interesting people for me to take that decision, and a big part of it was COVID. Really? It wasn't أنا قاعد في البيت. Yeah, a big part of it was in أنا so COVID started والدنيا بدأت تشتغل وما اعرفش ايه. بعد كده كله وقف.
Right.
حتى شغلي online coaching الكلام ده كله وقف. وبعد كده I got called وحد قال لي ان he wants to start this new venture معايا وما اعرفش ايه بتاع. It was going super well for like 2-3 months. وبعد كده it hit not rock bottom, بس يعني we had a couple of conflicts ما اعرفش ايه بتاع. فالموضوع ما مشيش. I feel like I found myself, and I've always been wanting to start a podcast, but I feel like I found myself after that.
Really?
يعني after that failure of, and again it wasn't really a failure, it was more of him خلاص like just waving a flag and being like alright bro I wanna not bail, بس خلاص أنا عايز أسحب نفسي من الموضوع ده, which again is okay.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to attach yourself to a sinking ship, like that's
exactly. It was خلاص أنا عايز أسحب نفسي من الموضوع ده. and he did. وأنا بقى اكتشفت إن في مشاكل كتيرة قوي أصلا في الشركة. ما اقدرش اقول ان هي شركة اصلا في like الستارت اب اللي احنا كنا نعمله ده. حاجات بقى في ان انا ما ينفعش اسجل الاسم اصلا عشان الاسم طلع متسجل. حاجات كده كتيرة فشخ to the point where I was like alright I should genuinely just invest my time and my money in something else. And ساعتها بقى is where I spent 2-3 weeks and I decided to genuinely just calm down, focus on one thing, and that one thing was the podcast. I had my mom, I had a couple of people من اهلي ومن صحابي be like bro يعني انت لسه خارج من حاجة انت اصلا المفروض تكمل فيها, you're doing super well, you put so much effort, so much ما اعرفش كل حاجة. I remember being like telling them and and I'll probably pursue it again, but I know deep down I'm not gonna pursue it. Because when يعني it might feel right in the moment, but if it doesn't feel right for multiple weeks, or if it doesn't feel right for multiple months, it's okay to I felt like it was ساعتها حسيت ان هو انا الموضوع ده هيقلش مني ومش هينفع. طب انا لما افكر في نفسي معنى كده ان انا اي حاجه تانية هفتحها هبقى خايف من الموضوع ده. فلا I need to I need to sail وما اعرفش ايه بتاع. And then I realized no it's okay to let it not even sink, but it's okay to just leave it there.
بالظبط.
It's okay. فاهم قصدي؟ فكك من اي حد بيقول لك ايه it's okay if you feel like خلاص you haven't يعني لو حسيت ان انت ما لقيتش نفسك في الحته دي bro it's okay to calm down, take a step back and just reflect on it, see it, be like alright do I really want to do this? Is this what I really want to invest my time in? Is this what I really want to invest my effort and my fucking energy in, or do I want to pursue something else? But it's basically what brought us here. 2 a.m. podcasting.
No, bro, it's
كلمني يا ابني عن نفسك. How are you? I really appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
Bro,
really, it means a lot. I know you're hectic. I know you have a super busy schedule all the time.
No, bro, I had to make it work. Like akid.
All right, talk to me more about you, bro. I want to get to know you.
Man, I'm chilling. All I do is I love basketball, so that's actually there's a huge trade that just went down. James Harden's going to the Nets.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not super like educated in basketball, but I know James Harden is هو بيلعب فين؟ Houston. Yeah, I know he's huge for Houston.
The guy with the
هو اللي done. هينقل. That's like
so he's going like he's basically teaming up with like 2 other superstars.
مين
KD and Kevin Durant. And Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Yeah.
مش KD مع Steph Curry?
No, KD was with Steph Curry, but then he got hurt, and then he went to Brooklyn.
Okay.
But they didn't play because يعني Sana he was rehabbing and all that, and now he's
Bro,
like
I've been into 2K lately.
Really?
I do nothing but بس الصراحة شوطة كريم وجرحي الصراحة أنا ما بلعبش غير عند جرحي أصلا and all I do is I literally shoot 3 pointers just literally يعني اللي هو I feel like اللي هو فاكس فشخ بقى بلعب and I go into the فاهم أخش جوه and I فاهم dunk it بس all I do is shoot 3 pointers to the point where جرحي صاحبنا عمل لي روستر بتاعتي فيها بلعب all time Chicago Bulls عشان اتفرجت على The Last Dance ومهبول بيه خلاص
Last Dance
خطير so حطيلي ستيف كوري في الاول تايم شيكاغو بولز انا بلعب مايكل جوردن وستيف كوري وبيبن فاهم وجيلمور بتاع لذيذه فشخ
it's actually unbeatable
literally bro I do nothing والسلايدرز قشطه بقى حطيتها على ما اعرفش الروكي ولا فاهم قصدي اللي هو عرفناها شويه للبرو فالثري بوينترز بقت اصعب بس مسخره بس انا I'm so bad to the point where لما بنيجي نلعب هما بيقولوا لي مثلا alright احنا هنلعب بفرق يعني احنا لو كسبانينك بفرق 30 points you win لازم كسبانينك بفرق 40 points فاهم ويفشخوني all the time.
But bro, like honestly, if you play 2K, like if you play my career, that's all you need. Like my player.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I don't have a PS. You know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the problem. I haven't owned a PS in 2015 تقريبا. آخر حاجة بتاعتي كان PS3. ما جتش PS4 أصلا. كنت بلعب GTA V على PS3.
No way.
والله العظيم.
So what do? You don't game?
I don't game للأسف مش يعني للأسف بس ده again مش للأسف because I know and if I do all my fucking time will be gone. ودي حاجة I feel like again I'm super harsh on myself here is in I'm always super اللي هو لا يعني ما ينفعش أضيع وقت.
But yeah, for sure.
ما ينفعش literally ساعات بتوصل أنا ما ينفعش أبقى مبسوط فاهم اللي هو إيه البدون ده اللي هو يعني if I want to game for 2, 3, 4 fucking hours and I've been working the entire week
exactly.
I should deserve it but in my head it's like alright no if you game you could have been recording a podcast you could have been working on your assignment you could have been coaching في ما أعرفش مكان فلان you could have been creating content أي حاجة you could have been with your family فاهم so I feel like that ties into اللي هو لا you need to do certain things and you need to always be hustle culture فاهم قصدي which is good بس يعني I want to touch on this I feel like hustle culture is extremely overrated هقول لك ليه
okay
it's super important to hustle كنت لسه literally بكلم مع بسنت في الموضوع ده it's super important to hustle we've been all taught to go
right.
you've never been taught to stop you've never been taught to take a break which is just as if not more important than going فاهم قصدي
yeah
but I feel like hustle culture is super important you should always run you should always hustle you should always put your all in whatever it is you're doing
right
but then again you should also give yourself a break you should also realize it have that realization I've been working for so long I need a break because if you don't you'll burn out
no, I see where you're coming from and like
what do you think of that
I really think that like a lot of things that get like overlooked or people tend to like not pay that much attention to especially in Egypt here is like mental health and like being in the right mental state and stuff like that I actually like so this is also kind of about me a little bit but I'm a huge Kobe fan Kobe Bryant's like if anybody that knows me knows how much Kobe means to me my dog's name Kobe my passwords are Kobe my everything's Kobe and I've been a Laker fan my whole life so like it's the way that I grew up and the way that I kind of learned how to like focus on things in life was through sports through basketball and Kobe was one of those people that was always he was unfazed so he was always focused you know what I mean and like that's one thing that I kind of try to pick up from him and try to like implement in everything I do and like trying to stay in like a state of zen so that you're mentally taken care of but at the same time you're still focused and you're working you know what I mean so it's kind of like a balance between both
do you feel like you're there or you're close
thing is it's different like I feel like with everything that's going on now with COVID, with you know not being able to see people, not being able to like go out and being literally scared to like touch things and stuff like that, it kind of changes. Like there's a lot of things that you have to like kind of focus on and sift through, but it's just it's kind of weird to like I don't know how to describe it, but it's hard to stay focused in this time period, you know what I mean? And that's okay. Like that's perfectly fine. It's not a normal time. It's something that, you know, we're not prepared to go through. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. So it's definitely understandable to not be focused or not having that like
why do you feel like you being unfazed is super important? Like what brought that up? What made that a big part of your life? You being completely unfazed.
Right.
مركز فشخ in that zen state, in that flow state.
So honestly, it's all from sports. Like honestly, I'm the biggest preacher of sports teaches you everything about life. Everything that you need to know, how to deal with people, how to handle situations, how to handle pressure, how to handle mistakes, how to handle failures, how to handle losses. All that stuff you learn in sports. So being part of that, like unfazed and not being able to, you know, to literally turn negative situations into positive, that's all from sports. Like that thought process and teaching, to me at least, was from sports. So I feel like that's where I got that from.
I love that. I love that. I feel like sports play a huge role for Malala, and I also feel like people should really start doing more. عادة أي حد بيلعب رياضة عادة بيبقى مبسوط من أي حد ما بيلعبش رياضة.
كده
عشان there are certain things you pick up on sports that you're never gonna pick up in real في الحياة العادية.
Right.
The agony and the pain of doing something that you've never done before and feeling all your muscles being sore as fuck. Your muscles literally screaming out بتعمل إيه أنا مش فاهم. Just go home, eat a fucking burger and sleep. When you're out there, whether it's playing tennis or it's playing basketball or it's playing literally نازل تجري في تراك. بجد الموضوع ده بيفرق فشخ.
No, that for sure.
شكاب طالب دايما like, and I feel like a very big part of it is you going through adversity. It's you going through something that beats you down.
Right.
I feel like that's where real growth is. It's حتى let's talk physiologically real growth in terms of how big the muscle gets or how big the muscle can grow literally comes from and then you break down the muscle fiber.
Yeah.
Literally. So when you train, when you do a bicep curl, you're literally breaking down each single muscle fiber. So each singular muscle fiber breaks down. And then when you go home, you eat, you sleep, you do all that shit, they start to repair. So they go back, they're stronger, they're thicker. So therefore you perform better, you're faster. So I feel like that is a perfect analogy for life.
Exactly.
If you get beaten down, but here's the gist. If you get too beaten down and if you overtrain the muscle, your recovery time is going to last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Your muscle is going to be so sore to the point where it doesn't feel good anymore.
Yeah. Like it's actual pain now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's where I feel like, and honestly, I feel like it's all about how you think. So if we take that same analogy you can overtrain the muscle just like you can get overpressured in life and you can get super beaten down in life. I feel like the difference between the control aspect of you not overtraining the muscle is stopping when you feel like you're done.
Right.
The control aspect of you genuinely being at peace or accepting and starting to recover from being beaten up is all up here. It's how clear you are mentally.
Right.
It's understanding and all right, this is the time in my life where I'm going to get beaten the fuck up. But في الأول وفي الآخر دايما بيبقى فيه طلعة. دايما في اللي هو الكليشيه shit اللي هو there's like
no, it's true though.
It's super true. It's super true.
Exactly.
And I feel like you're never gonna grow if you don't face adversity.
Exactly.
You're never gonna grow if you're not beaten up. You're never gonna grow if you don't go through shit times, and if you don't lose a lot of friends, and if you don't, I don't know, like, do you understand where I'm going?
No, for sure. And like, I feel like the more you, like, it's only when you put yourself in those situations where your back is against the wall, that's when you really figure out who you are, what your character is, and like what you stand for, you know what I mean?
100%.
And like how you navigate through life, how you figure out I really feel like life is, and this is gonna sound cliche also, but it's really, life is a puzzle, you know what I mean? And you just have to figure out what your puzzle is supposed to end up being, and that's how you learn, that's why you learn, and that's how you grow, and that's how you evolve, and that's how you make it, you know what I mean? So it's all about trying to figure out where certain pieces fit, where you fit, what you stand for, what you believe, stuff like that. And that's also like, there's a lot, like, there's so much that ties into sports, and I don't want to keep going back to the same reference, but it's true. Like, it's there's so much that sports has taught me as a man, not just as an athlete or as a basketball player, but as a man too, and like honesty and integrity. And
can you elaborate on that, because that's huge? So
like, a lot of things, like for me personally, the biggest thing I learned from basketball was leadership, and like how to control a team. So like, sometimes we'd have, like, you'd be in a situation where like everyone's not on the same page, and people aren't responding, people aren't cooperating, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? But like, things aren't going the way they should be. And it's important to have that, like, one person that like takes lead, takes command, and shows everyone how it's supposed to be done, you know what I mean? And that taught me a lot about like owning up to a lot of responsibilities, and taking a lot of not the credit, not the good credit, but the bad credit, you know what I mean? A lot of the blame. And being able to motivate other people to get to the same place that you want to go, you know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing that I've learned from sports overall, is just leadership, and how it's changed. Like these aren't things that you're taught in school. These aren't things that you're taught in, like, you can't watch a YouTube video and learn how to be a leader. 100%. You know what I mean? So like, these are things that teach you, and you can, like, it plays off in every aspect of your life. Whether you're at school, you're working on a group project, you have to be a leader. If you're at work and you have like a task to do or whatever, you have to be a leader on that, you know what I mean? If you, I don't know, like, if you have a family, you know what I mean? If you have a family, that you have to be a leader and be able to provide and take care of everyone, you know what I mean? And be like a rock, a sense of like stableness or stability. And
I feel like that's it's super difficult to be a rock.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's not for everyone. Like, not everyone.
It's definitely not. Yeah. It's definitely not. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like people who aren't cut out to be can be rocks?
It's like, I feel like it's more of an instinct thing. And like, if you don't have the instinct and the natural like need to protect or do whatever like it is that you need to do, I don't think that you can be a rock. That's just my take on it.
That's huge. Yeah. Honestly. I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot that we aren't taught that you eventually get taught in life, and the life eventually teaches you. Right. I mean, that's sports that sports teaches you.
For sure.
And a lot of it is in you're never taught in school how to genuinely. You're never taught in school how to listen. You're always taught to listen to you're يعني عمرك ما حد في المدرسة جاء علمك ازاي تسمع حد بجد. To be just genuinely interested, or you just genuinely care about what that person has to say.
Exactly.
You're taught it through friends, you're taught through family, blah blah blah. But I feel like if you're taught in school just certain traits and certain characteristics that you can grow up with, I feel like that could have been game changing for so many people. If you're taught how to listen, if you're taught how to lead, if you're taught how to be a decent human being, and above all that, if you're taught at the end of the day, you always have a choice. You're never there's nothing, to me, ما فيش حاجة set in stone.
Right.
عمره ما في حاجة set in stone. You can, let's say you find a girl that you love. You can keep loving her for 12, 15, 16, 20 years, and then you decide to just not bail, but you decide to خلاص. يعني this isn't for me.
Right.
And طبعا بطريقة محترمة blah 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 blah. You respect her blah blah blah. Yeah. But I feel like if you're taught من وانت صغير ان it's okay to be pursuing something and to stop, and it's okay to not be pursuing something وتخبط في دماغك, and you be like, all right, fuck, I want to be a surfer. يلا fuck, I want to be a monk. تسافر 4-5 شهور, تسافر 6 سنين, فاهم, تقعد في تمبل في نيبال, فاهم. and just تعرف انا فكرت اني يعني فكرت فشخ بقى to grow. Of course, اقسم بالله, I was talking to my girlfriend the other day and I was like, I genuinely want to travel to Nepal and just calm the fuck down. And the more I think about it is, but hey, aren't I going to be missing out here? What of shit and the people and like all the shit I'm supposed to be doing? But I feel like من كتر ما أنا سمعت الناس دي, you get to a certain state of mind where it's not that you don't care, but you're just so present and satisfied and at peace في اللحظة اللي انت فيها دلوقتي, اللحظة اللي احنا فيها دلوقتي, قاعدين في الأوضة recording whatever it is,
right.
And you just don't really care about anything else.
That's being focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's you being super duper present. Right. I'm just here.
Exactly.
Nowhere else. My mind isn't wandering. I feel like I want to get to that. I feel like I want to get to a state where I control my mind. I have my
there's so one of Kobe's coaches, Kobe and Michael Jordan's coach, was Phil Jackson, and he was really into like Native American history. You saw this in the Last Dance, and so like the way he taught the teams and the way he coached them was kind of like through like Zen Buddhism and like, you know, that type of atmosphere and culture and everything. So I really think it's an important part of sports in order to like to literally be in the zone. Some people say to be Zen, you know what I mean? So like in order to be in that state of mind, it's crucial. And being present in that moment, that's true focus. That's true focus.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like sports do play a huge role in your development. And I feel like بالنسبة لك Kobe is something else, huh?
There's literally like there's no words to describe Kobe, bro. No words.
But what makes him so great?
Just his like the way he was a leader, the way like I remember watching Laker games when I was young. I never had like that fear of like, oh, we're gonna lose, or you know what I mean? And like literally like clockwork, day in, day out, he worked insanely hard, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stories about how he wakes up at like 4 a.m. and works out and shoots 1,000 shots before a practice, and like after the practice still shoots some more. It's crazy. Like the work ethic and dedication that he had was beyond, like it's truly, I feel like his message was falling in love with the process. Like the process of being successful.
Huge.
Exactly. That's deep. And that's why his legacy will never die out. Like his understanding of the way things worked in life and how hard work and dedication cannot be taken away from you was tremendous. Like it was great.
I want to touch on falling in love with the process because I feel like we're all caught up with the destination. We're all caught up with going somewhere.
Right.
Which, by the way, is completely fine. But so we're all caught up with getting 100,000 followers. Not all of us, but most of us. We're all caught.
That's what you're taught, though. Like you're taught to always kind of like never take your eyes off the prize or whatever. But that's not being in the moment at the same time, you know.
And it's not being happy.
Exactly.
Because as long as you don't have the prize,
right,
you're not happy. And the moment that you have it, you're looking for the bigger prize.
Exactly. I mean, it's like a hamster wheel. You just keep chasing and chasing and chasing.
And I feel like we've been taught that intentionally.
Yeah.
Because you were always taught. Wow, this is huge. I feel like you were never taught to be who you really can aspire to be.
Right.
You were taught to be part, as like a small part of a machine. انت ترس من تروس مكنة كبيرة. And that's why you were taught. That's why there are so many employees. I'm not bashing employees. You can be an employee وتاخد 200,000 جنيه في السنة.
Yeah, exactly.
فاهم قصدي؟
True.
But you were taught to be a working part.
Right.
You weren't taught to be an entire machine by your own, whether that's in art or in sports or in whatever it is.
Right.
فاهم قصدي؟ And I feel like it's because of that and then people don't end up just realizing who they are. And it's because of that that people end up in 9-to-5 jobs. They're just paycheck to paycheck. بتخلص دي يعني just the same fucking routine every single day. With the moment that they break it is the moment that they're free. They feel like they're super happy. They feel like they're different. They feel like they're doing something with their lives.
Right.
So I feel like falling in love with the process is so important. And falling in love with the process is basically ان انت تبقى بجد بتحب فشخ الحاجة اللي انت بتعملها.
Exactly.
Just like for real. بتحب فشخ الحاجة اللي انت بتعملها. Whatever it is.
Exactly.
Let's say you're a musician. You just love the process of writing a song.
Exactly.
And وبعد كده انت تلاقي لا الأغنية مش عجباني تروح مقطعها وتعمل واحدة تانية. فاهم قصدي؟ تغير فيرس. تغير التيون اللي في معرفش ايه. تغير الجيتار هنا تحط بيانو. فاهم؟ That's the process. You're not falling in love with getting 1 million followers or getting 1 million views or getting 1 million listens, which by the way is super cool and it's nice and it's recognition and you feel happy for it.
Right.
But when you fall in love with the process of لا أنا مبسوط فشخ إن أنا قاعد دلوقتي undisturbed doing something that I love, you're never gonna end up caring about the prize.
Exactly. Because it won't be work to you. Like you won't treat it as work.
Exactly.
It's
and you're already satisfied.
Exactly.
I feel like that's the and that دي تقيلة قوي ان انت بتبقى already مبسوط باللي معاك. باللي معاك اللي هو you working, putting in the work, just not waiting for the podcast to grow to 1 million followers.
Right,
because you just don't give a fuck. You're just doing it because you want to and you're doing it because you enjoy the process of meeting new people, talking to new people, just pumping out content every week.
Right.
Just love that so much and you enjoy it and you enjoy when people every single week when people go like, all right, this is cool, I like that. فاهم قصدي? But that doesn't fuel you.
Exactly.
فاهم قصدي? What fuels you is the process itself.
Work.
I feel like يعني again, I don't know much about Kobe. I feel like you do a lot, but I feel like that's what he meant by love the process. It's loving the thing that you're doing, not the thing that you want, the material, يعني the physical thing that you want to have in your hand.
Exactly.
Whether it's the championship or the money or the fame, the
fame, the
nothing.
Trophies. Yeah.
It's just loving shooting every shot.
Exactly.
And loving dribbling every dribble. فاهم قصدي? It's loving that.
Yeah. And it's also like I feel like once you get to that type of like level of commitment, it's all about attention to detail and like trying to like use every single piece of information that you have to like in your advantage, you know what I mean, and towards your advantage. So like it's definitely like it's crazy to say, it's crazy to see and like see it work like up close, or like even just reading a story about like how it does work, you know what I mean, and hearing them both, like Jordan and Kobe, both talk about like work and work ethic and all that. That's crazy.
I love how dedicated you are to that. Genuinely, I feel like it feeds your passion.
No,
for
sure.
Basketball and for leadership. I feel like you have a huge passion for leadership. And for being a rock. يعني من والله العظيم بجد يعني من الايه من ال 30 دقيقة اللي احنا كلمناهم دول. I feel like I can genuinely say this man loves basketball and he loves being not independent but being عارف لما حد تعرف تعتمد عليه نيك.
Yeah, exactly.
فاهم قصدي؟
And that's what, like, I just try to, you know, like I just, it's all about the golden rule. You just try to treat people the way you want to be treated, you know, and it's not, there's no, like, you want to see everyone else make it. There's no envy, there's no hatred, there's none of that.
That's super hard to get to, bro.
That's super hard, but at the same time, I feel like we're all in the same, like, we're on the same pot, kind of, and everyone's trying to make it out, you know what I mean? So it's not like you won't benefit anything if you don't see someone else making it out, you know what I mean?
But doesn't feed your ego, and I feel like that's why it's hard. It does, يعني لما تشوف حد تاني ناجح في حاجة عايز تبقى ناجح فيها, just makes you, it's never it makes him feel, يعني I feel like it's never ان انت مبسوط له على قد ما انت اللي هو I should have been up there, or when am I going to be up there?
But that whole idea has nothing to do with the other person. That's all with
100%,
like, between you, you know what I mean? And like, if you really want to be up there, then you have the same 24 hours in the day that he had, and you probably have the same amount of work that they did, and you know, there's like, you came up short, you know what I mean? That has nothing to do with the other person. And trying to like look at other people's plates, so to speak, and like what they have going on and stuff like that really distracts you from your goals, you know? And that's, I don't think that's a productive way to live. And especially because like my it's not really like I don't know how to describe it, but it's the way that Egypt is kind of structured. There's so much competition, and there's so many people fighting for so little roles, you know what I mean? And so there's a lot of like envy and like looking at other people's positions and like what they have, what they don't have, and all that. And if people just took the time to just focus on their own life, focus on their own careers, focus on all that, they definitely find themselves in those like positions that they dreamed about being in and stuff like that. Like, I really think it's not the best way to manage a society, but like,
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Exactly.
Not only that, I feel like بتسمع Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
You should. Gary V is crazy.
Oh, Gary V, yeah,
Gary
yeah,
V.
for sure.
So Gary V can be like, there are two ways to build the tallest building in town.
Mm-hmm.
You can either build the tallest building in town,
right,
or you can tear down the tallest building in town.
Okay.
فاهم قصدي؟
Yeah. So that you can become, yeah. Mm-hmm.
فاهم قصدي؟
Right.
And I was always fascinated by that, because I always felt like all I'm trying to do is مثلا for example إن أنا أشوف هو بيعمل إيه فأنا أحاول هو بيعمله. أحاول أعمل هو بيعمله. أو إن أنا أشوف I'm trying to bash someone, or I'm trying to badmouth someone, when at the end of the day, if you just focus on the shit you're doing, زي بالظبط ما قلت, or you're focusing on what you actually want to do, or if you're focusing on your passion, or if you're focusing on the shit that you have doing right now. If you focus on your plate, you've been giving a certain plate. There's food in front of you. You don't need to look at the guy who's eating pasta. Exactly. You have fucking steak or chicken breast or whatever the fuck it is. Just eat that, family. يعني خلاص, just accept it, acknowledge it, and start chewing on it.
Right.
Oh,
for sure.
And I feel like it's huge, because a lot of people just don't get to the point where they can actually say, in the خلاص, I've been dealt certain cards. And I always say that, I always come back to it. You've been dealt certain cards.
Right.
Accept it. Accept what you can, يعني accept what you can't change, and change what you can.
Exactly.
خلاص يعني you've been يعني بسنت اللي هي بسنت شغلت بسنت فهم بسنت كانت بتتكلم ان هي she has zero اسمه ايه concentration span. Literally. لا. She's always distracted. She's always out of shape. She got to a point in her life where اللي هو لا يعني she thought she was ADHD, واللي هو الموضوع كبر قوي في دماغها, واللي هو طب انا هعمل ايه ما اعرفش ايه بتاع, لحد لما she sat down with herself and she just genuinely realized, and all right, I get distracted easily. Right. أنا مش أكتر حد بركز في الدنيا. And that's okay.
Yeah.
What am I good at? I'm super creative.
Right.
Let's just tap into that.
Okay.
Let's just fucking هنا بقى هنا is where I believe that hustle should be put. You know you're super good at selling. Just do selling. You know you're super good at a certain sport. Do that shit.
Right.
You don't have to learn math. فاهم قصدي? You don't have to learn chemistry. You don't have to know molecular structure بتاع الصوديوم. Fuck that. فاهم قصدي? You're just so good at something. Just keep doing that.
Right.
Keep doing that. Because there is يعني الحتة دي is where growth is. Especially كمان if you're talented in it. If you're talented in music and sports and writing and blogging and filming and content creation.
Exactly.
And you like it. Gold mine. انت خلاص انت كسبت يا man. But again, you're never taught that. And you're never given the chance to actually go through that. احنا في المدرسة انت بتتعلم فاهم sciences, تتعلم maths, تتعلم اللغات بتاعتك. بتخلص حتى في الجامعة يعني AUC is a lot more flexible. حتى genuinely في الجامعة you're never given the chance to genuinely explore yourself. فاهم قصدي؟
You're not for sure, and I feel like it's like the going back to school and that whole entire system. The way that I see it is that if you're like, let's say you enjoy basketball and you want to pursue basketball, you have to look at like what steps am I going to take that are going to teach me more about the game. How am I going to grow? How am I going to become a better player? And that whole idea, that whole process was what made people يعني in the Middle East it's kind of different. You know, obviously Arab parents don't agree with anything related to sports, and you know they're not
مش كلهم
أكيد.
Yeah, but most of them.
The majority.
Like أنا عايز أبقى لعيب كورة.
Exactly.
Okay, ماشي.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're just like up until you get to a certain age, and then
خلاص بقى.
Exactly. But like overall, I feel like the whole like there's a negative stigma towards letting children pursue their dreams and pursue their talents, pursue their sport. Their
But so why do you think that is?
Because there's a fear of failure, and that's what parents, especially with sports, because you know people obviously equate that once you get to like a high level, you obviously make a lot of money, but that could be taken away from you if you get injured or whatever. But that's
all. انت لو اتصبت لو حتى فوقك من ACL, if you get a ankle injury, if you get an ankle injury, you're done. خلاص.
But like with modern science and technology and all that, like
let's
so
say
hard.
It's a serious ankle injury.
Yeah, if
you're
it's
done.
serious, then yeah. But also you like the flip side of that is looking at like that's such a low chance thing to happen, you know what I mean? Like I agree. And like at the same time, you never like you always, it's kind of like your race car, you know, so you're trying to like fix up your engine, speed it up a little bit, trim a little bit of weight off, fix your tires, whatever it is. So it's kind of like treating your body like a machine and fixing all that. And obviously if you aim to be the best at whatever you do, injuries obviously they're a thing of like they happen, but like you can find ways to kind of stay away from that and stay healthy, you know.
I got you.
So yeah,
I got you.
But yeah, that's definitely one thing that I kind of because growing up I had a lot of friends from the States. I had a lot of people from different cultures living in this community, people from literally all over the place. So we got to like experience a lot of cultures and a lot of different lifestyles, different thoughts, different, you know, like ideas and beliefs and stuff like that. And sports in general was like a unanimous no for all the like non-European, non-Western families, you know what I mean? So
there's no future in sports.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, also like the like obviously here, مثلا, if it's not soccer, it's not the best.
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah.
Especially كمان احنا بنتكلم لو يعني for example اختي my sister is a professional squash player بتاع واللي انا فهمته ان هم بيخشوا بطولات الجراند برايز 200,000 بس الجراند برايز دي هي مش جراند برايز هي برايز بول I think 200,000
واو
فالاول بياخد معرفش 80,000 which by the way is huge numbers.
It's amazing, yeah.
بس معلم انت لعيب الكوره الواحد بياخد لعيب الكوره في الايه في الزمالك بياخد قد ايه في الاسبوع؟ غباء بقى غباء. فاهم قصدي؟ يعني لو انت عايز تبقى اي حاجه تانية غير لعيب كوره في مصر and you want to make good living out of it, the chances are slim. I'm sorry to break it.
Chances are slim, but like the way I look at it is like people shouldn't shy away from that either.
100%. If that's what you're into,
exactly,
go for it. 100%.
Yeah. And I feel like trying to make it through that struggle and like taking on the challenge kind of doing it is a way to live, you know, like that could be like a challenge. It can get people to get out of their bed every single morning and go out and do stuff.
100%.
You know? So it's
I'll tell you what, I feel like you came in here wanting to talk about a couple of things. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to ask you some questions, man.
Go on, shoot at me.
Tell me what got you into like the gym scene and working out and all that type of stuff.
Shit. Oh, okay, genuine questions. Wow. All right. Where do I start? All right, I was always a chubby kid.
Okay.
I was always overweight. Not chubby, I was genuinely overweight. واهل امي كلهم قصيرين ومتكوكين كده. اهل امي بيكبروا للجنب واهل ابويا بيكبروا واهل ابويا 6 باكس فاهم عضلات طوال فشخ وبتاع. بس I was always like I was raised in this house where everyone was super duper fit, where like they were always playing sports, they were all super good at sports. كل واحد كان بيعمل حاجة مختلفة. Now is the like fat kid. بس I يعني my parents got me into sports من وانا صغير. And it started growing with me. كنت بلعب سكواش في الأول. I didn't enjoy it خالص بس I was good. وصلت مصر 12 جمهورية أو 14 جمهورية. And then بعد كده اتصبت فبطلت. اتصبت جالي مزق في my right forearm. It wasn't super serious but it was serious يعني فاهم قصدي؟ بس I took that as a chance to just pursue something else فبطلت. كاكا مريت بقى بسين لعب الكورة. أنا عايز أبقى لعيب كورة ما أعرفش إيه بتاع فاهم every كده أي فاهم فمريت بدي بس بعد كده I got into the gym بقى. والجيم بالنسبة لي في الأول it was all about just I want to look sexy as fuck. I just want to فاهم قصدي؟ بس ايه بس so I got into that and it genuinely changed my life. عشان كده بقول لك I can relate to everything you're saying about sports.
Yeah.
It genuinely changed my life. I got into the gym when I was 16 مثلا. I fucking remember اشتركت في جيم اسمه بيك جيم. انا ساكن في التجمع. اشتركت في جيم اسمه بيك جيم. المكان ده كنت بتمشى له عشان ما كانش عندنا حد يوصلني فكنت بتمشى له. and I remember the day اليوم اللي انا اشتركت فيه اتمشيت للجيم وانا راجع كانت معايا literally اول طبعا اهلي بقى مش واثقين فيا بتاع لا مش هنجيب لك بتاع. طب قلت لهم يا جماعه طب خلاص ادوني شهر عشان اغلبيه الناس دايما بيشتركوا سنه. fuck that, you should never do that. It's a super long term commitment. You're probably not gonna last 2 weeks اصلا. take a month, just take a month. so I took a month. اشتركت كنت لوحدي. I did super well. second month لوحدي super well. بعد كده دخلت مع مدرب قشطة. it was good في الأول. طبعا هو مش فاهم خرا. هو مش فاهم أي حاجة. لا كده فوق. أنا بس يعني كنت ماشي وراه عشان he was huge. the guy was كان دولاب فاهم. كانت حيطة كبير فشخ كده. يوم أصلا دخلت عليه الجيم أقسم بالله مش بهزر. دخلت عليه الجيم لقيته هو واقف هو و3 برضو الضخام فشخ حواليه رابط واحد من البانز اللي في الجيم على دراعه وبيأنجك literally just casually. اللي هو اول ما دخلت هو حتى بص لي مش مثلا اللي هو ده بص ده الكلاينت بتاعي شافني. لا هو literally بص لي اللي هو يلا روح سخن على التريدميل literally فاهم. بس I knew I was fucking up في الحته دي. بس بعد كده نقلت بقى قلت I want to upgrade وما اعرفش ايه بتاع. نقلت رحت جيم انضف شويه وبدات اتمرن. بس I got into the scene بطريقه عشوائيه فشخ. I always loved training. I always loved having friends over وما اعرفش ايه. طب يا جماعه لا انا هعلمكم دي وهقول لكم دي خلي بالك انت بتعمل دي غلط. I always loved that. I got into it. اليوم اللي انا كان I think اول يوم جامعه حاجه كده. بس قبل UC اول يوم جامعه. I woke up بدري مثلا بساعة ساعة ونص and I was like I want to start training, I want to start coaching.
Okay.
Literally.
So it was literally
It
like
was literally just I just want to start coaching.
spontaneous.
Yeah. So I emailed 4 or 5 fitness entities في مصر.
Okay.
بيفت طبعا كانت top priority بتاعتي يعني. كلهم ما ردوش عليا. قعدت 3 أسابيع. 3 أسابيع. حتى بيفت. 3 أسابيع 4 أسابيع. And then like in my mind I was like, alright, كده مش هرد عليا أنت صغير ما أعرفش. I was trying to sugarcoat it.
Right.
So I was like, alright, let me email the people that I actually want to train with or coach at. So I emailed بيفت تاني و I emailed them 3 times after. وبعد كده كنت مسافر اسكندرية وجالي ايميل من بيفت بيقول لي ان انا عندي meeting مع one of the head coaches. رحت طبعا head coach احمد بيومي. This guy to this day, this guy is a mentor to me.
He's amazing.
He's incredible. بيومي.
Go.
Yeah, you know بيو. رحت مع بيو وقعدت معاه وبيو literally he broke me down وفشخني.
No way.
فشخني بشياكة. ليه؟
Yeah.
The amount of courage and fucking balls it takes for someone to leave their full-time job, something that's super stable for corporate, for multinational, just to pursue something that they love.
Right.
It's crazy.
The risk taking. Yeah.
Bayumi, like practically all the coaches اللي بيفت عملوا كده. So what happened was رحت البيومي وبيومي شاف this fucking 18-year-old مش متخرج من المدرسة أصلا مش عشان أتخرج جامعة مش متخرج من المدرسة داخل عليه hey what's up معرفش إيه بتاع. So we sat down قعدنا نتكلم ندردش شوية. Then he was like alright look literally قفلها في وشي قال لي بص أنت صغير قوي you have zero experience معرفش إيه بتاع فأنت probably مش أنت كده مش مقبول ومش هتعرف تتقابل غير بعد 2 أو 3 وساعتها ممكن تبدأ شادو كوتشنج وتقعد 2-3 كمان عشان تبدأ تمرن. فشخني
5-year process يعني.
5-year process.
Damn.
So at that point I was like alright so what do you want me to do? What can I do right now? قال لي هتبدأ تتمرن معانا وما اعرفش ايه get into it بتاع. قلت له done.
Okay.
So I got into it, took my first certificate. فضلت مكمل. I got offered a position for management. So I took ساعتها اتقابلنا. فاكر أول مرة نتكلم خالص كنا تحت في الجيم.
Show me the gym.
Yeah. كنت ساعتها في management.
Okay.
أصلا كنت في customer relations.
Alright.
So I took the job مع إن it was far away from what I wanted. But I took the job. وساعتها I was pursuing بقى my diploma. The diploma is so it's basically a European Health and Fitness Level 4 certificate. It's you basically go through everything. Okay. So you go through anatomy, physiology, you go through program design, special populations, rehab, mobility, كلام ده كله. You go through every single piece of it. It's a super long process. تقيلة فشخ. It's hella expensive. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So I took that وانا كنت باخد وانا كنت في customer relations. بس then I passed وساعتها بقى الحمد لله يعني بيومي و other like head coaches and people in management for BFit saw in خلاص now I have the education, now I'm super well incorporated in BFit itself, and then I was offered the job to start coaching. الكلام ده كان July 2019.
Okay, wow.
July 2019. So I started coaching. Yeah. وكنت أول مرة أقدم في بيفت كان في I'm guessing April of 2017.
Okay.
So قعدت من April لأبريل. قعدت basically قعدت من April لديسمبر. So 2017 April December. I'm just incorporating myself in BFit.
Okay.
وبعد كده from Jan all the way up to July. Management.
Okay.
بعد كده بدأت مرة.
Right.
And ever since then عامة يعني throughout all that process like sports عامة كنت بلعب سكورش بلعب كورة كتير فشخ كنت يعني كنت دايما بتحرك which has been benefiting me فشخ في حياتي genuinely just
bro, it's important man.
It's super important bro.
Yeah.
وحتى you don't have to train professionally, you don't have to do حتى دلوقتي يعني what I'm doing in terms of training والكلام ده كله أنا بمرن نفسي دلوقتي like I put a program which I don't recommend you do. Even coaches train with coaches because you never see your shortcomings.
Okay.
You never see your shortcomings.
Right.
فدايما لازم تمرن مع مدرب يعني لازم تمرن. أنا دايما مقتنع لازم تمرن مع حد أحسن منك
But couldn't you argue that you're the only person that can see, like, can actually judge yourself straight up because you know everything?
It's true, but that's a really good question. ساعات بتبقى so you have one or two extremes.
Right.
You're either going to lay off فشخ عشان you don't want to overwork yourself.
Okay.
So you're not going to be achieving as much, or you're going to kill yourself because you're programming في ايدك.
Okay.
فاهم قصدي؟ لأن عادة بتبقى واحدة من الحاجتين اللي هو you're not doing enough or you're doing too much.
Too much, alright.
فلو أنت مدرب أنا باخدك a client. So alright, I see that you're really good at bench and you're really good at deadlifts and you're really good at حاجة كمان. بس I know in the for example if you do whatever muscle ups مثلا هتفيدك قوي في الكومبيتيشن اللي أنت داخلها, which is not the case by the way. بس هتفيدك قوي في الكومبيتيشن اللي أنت داخلها. So then the coach would be like, all right, I know you're really good at these, but we're going to start incorporating this, and you're going to hate yourself because you don't want to do it because you're already good at other things. And for example, I'm really good at bench press.
Okay.
Extremely good. I'm ass at squats.
Really?
Ass. عندي مشكلة في ركبي عامة and I can't really squat that heavy.
Okay.
So my bench press, for example, is genuinely 1.5 times my squat.
Wow.
يعني I can bench heavy. I can't squat heavy خالص. I can't squat my body weight. أنت متخيل؟
No way.
Yeah, and I can bench my body weight easy. I can bench my body weight 12 reps. فاهم قصدي؟ يعني I bench 120 kg. وانا 70.
أكيد bro.
فاهم قصدي؟ فعشان كده بقولك so my squats are shit. I always hated working on squats.
Wow.
بيومي ما كانش بيعمل أي حاجة غير squats. فاهم قصدي؟ Yeah, because you need to.
That's true.
You need to work on your shit. Yeah,
exactly. Like
especially في التمرين. يعني yes, you need to perfect what you're good at, but you also need to work on your shortcomings.
That's true.
فاهم قصدي؟
Yeah.
But so got me into that, and ever since then, I feel like working out has genuinely changed my life in every single aspect. If I never started working out, I would never have ended up to be fit. I would never have known. Oh, definitely. Wow. I would never have known any. لو ما فرقعتش في دماغي فكرة إن fuck I want to coach. عمري في حياتي ما كنت همر باللي أنا مريت بيه في الأربع سنين فاتوا. أنا أصلاً لما بفكر في الموضوع ده I can't imagine my life without it. Genuinely. Wow. And I want to talk about this for a moment because it's so important. It's super important to just say fuck it and do it.
Exactly.
Because أوحش حاجة ممكن تحصل هو إن محدش يرد عليك.
Exactly.
بس.
Yeah.
أوحش حاجة ممكن تحصل إن البنت تقول لك no,
sorry,
I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
أوحش حاجة. But there's so much to gain if she says ask me out on a date.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's so much to gain
for sure.
if they just give you one chance.
Right.
That's
no,
it's incredibly important. Just the opportunity. You make opportunities. Opportunities just don't show up. فاهم قصدي? So I heard this quote in luck is when opportunity meets can't do it. Wait. Luck is when opportunity meets يعني ايه
potential.
No يعني ايه بالانجلش ان انت تبقى جاهز.
Like being ready, being standby.
I feel like يعني من آخر الكوكا بتقول fuck I butchered the quote.
الكوكا
basically بتقول إن luck is when لما الopportunity الفرصة دي بيجيلك وانت يبقى عندك السكيل سيت والمايند سيت والاكسبيرينس اللي انت تبقى جاهز لها.
Right.
فاهم قصدي؟ عشان كده luck doesn't exist. It's just opportunity meets talent / experience / you just being ready for it and it being in the right time. There's so much to gain from doing that one thing. عشان every single one of us has that one thing that they really want to do, but they're fucking scared as shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're so scared. They're terrified of the outcome.
Right.
انت مش هتخسر حاجة. انت على فكرة انت مش هتخسر حاجة لو البنت قالت لك ان she doesn't like you back.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Who gives a fuck? You're fucking 19 or 20 or 30. طز يا معلم. بكرة هتصحى ويوم جديد والشمس طلعت.
There's plenty of fish to see. Exactly. Yeah.
There are plenty of fish to see. بكرة الصبح هتصحى هتقدم الشغلانة دي وهتترفد. هيقولوا لك مش ترفق بس فاهم هيقولوا لك لا احنا ما عندناش vacancy. مش مهم. There are so many more opportunities.
Exactly.
That's you're just super. It's like being in a bottleneck. لو انت مخنوق فشخ this is هي دي ليه يا معلم هي دي ما في 100 مليون اي حاجه تانية في 100 حاجات تانية.
Yeah.
That's we're just so caught up with الحاجه دي وفي ناس كتير قوي they're so caught up بالحاجه دي ومش قادرين يعملوها. And even the people who do take the decision of لا I want to follow this they don't follow يعني let's say they took a decision where they got refused they still think about that.
Right.
خلاص.
You have to be able to move on.
Exactly. بالنسبة لي it's like going to a restaurant and finding a table that's reserved.
Right.
Yo, but I really want to sit next to that table. Like I really want to sit in that table. The table that's next to the window. But if you literally it's that simple. لو انت رحت ولقيت ان في ترابيزة جنب الشباك وانت عينك عليها بس واتقالك اكتر من مرة ان it's reserved وانت شايفها تقعد عليها.
Right.
You just fail to see so many other tables.
Exactly.
الترابيزه اللي جنب الفاونتن والترابيزه اللي جنب التلفزيون والترابيزه الاكبر بكتير قوي اللي انت تبقى فيها مستريح والترابيزه الثانيه اللي بره اللي في البلكونه.
Exactly.
فكك من الشباك
بالظبط.
فكك.
That's true.
فاهم قصدي؟ I feel like that's so important. It's important to people الناس يفهموا ان معلم there are so many opportunities that you don't see.
Exactly.
You just need to take initiative. And if you've taken initiative في حاجة وما نفعتش take initiative في حاجة تانية. It's
exactly.
okay.
You just move on. You
just
bounce back.
Move the fuck. Yeah, exactly. Bounce back. You just bounce back.
Right. And at the same time, it's also like you miss all the shots you never take, you know?
Ooh, so that's huge. I like that. You miss all the shots.
Yeah.
You miss all the shots.
You miss all the shots that you don't take.
Oof.
So that's definitely like it. That's what being ready and waiting for the opportunity to come along. That's also like not like a negative thing, but you also should just be impulsive and just try to work at whatever you want to do without waiting. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait for the opportunity to come along. You create the opportunity.
I agree.
So that's
how creating an opportunity that is really, really important.
Yeah. That's I feel like that's like there's certain levels to self. I don't want to say like self-efficiency because we're not machines, but we're like to reaching our maximum potential. There's certain levels and there's certain like difficulties that you pass by when you get to like really figure out who you are and touch on like things that really like are dug deep down inside. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to think about like all the times that you were stressing over something مثلا and like you know you don't need to stress over it. You know what I mean? Exactly. Felt like it's crazy.
Bro, I feel like there's a lot you want to talk about.
Honestly, like it's the time limit that's kind of scaring me.
Fuck
right
the
now.
time limit. We're an hour in, but I swear we can do 2.
Really?
We can do 3. Yeah.
No,
I just
for
want you to feel like you're ready to talk. I feel like أنت يعني حاسك مستني أنا عشان أنا بكلم بس I feel like there's a lot you want to talk about. Is that true?
Like there isn't a lot I want to talk about. I just wanted to. I don't know how to say this, but like I really wanted to like get people to think about like mental health and the way that they're taking care of themselves in this time. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the most important thing these days. Not just
what's your experience with that?
Honestly, I like growing up I lost my mom at a young age. I lost her when I was 12, and that definitely changes everything for a kid. You know what I mean? Like you think different, you act different, you become a different person. You know what I mean? You have to step up and kind of fill in shoes that you're not supposed to be filling. You're not supposed to be. You're not ready to fill. But like other than that, you kind of like. You push everything to the side and you don't really think about what's going on like in detail. You know what I mean? And you're not focusing on yourself, you're not focusing on your thoughts, you're not focusing on how you're feeling, you're not focusing on, you know, stuff like that. So it's important to just take time out of your day, you know, just do things that bring you peace, bring you like a sense of calm, you know what I mean? And like this is obviously, it's gonna sound like I'm preaching to like the choir, but like it's a way of just slowing down everything that's happening in like a very turbulent time and just focusing on yourself, which is ultimately the most important thing. So yeah.
That's huge. When did you realize that? When did you realize that you were stepping too much on yourself?
Honestly,
يعني كانت لحظة ولا كانت culmination? Was it a culmination?
I think it was just like a combination of things over time, because like
you get so pressured that you pop.
Exactly, and like it builds up, you know what I mean? And one of the things that sports did for me was it helped me kind of escape that, you know what I mean? Like whenever I went to play basketball or soccer or squash or tennis or whatever, for those 1 or 2 hours I'm away from all the problems, away from all the stress, away from all the negativity, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? And you're focusing on something else, like you're taking your mind off it. And I feel like that's important for everyone to have, you know? And like sometimes sports might not be your refuge. People meditate, people do yoga. By the way, that reminds me, shout out to Selma Ghazali.
I've been trying to have Selma over, bro.
No way.
Yeah, but Selma's a busy woman.
She's very busy. Very, very busy.
But I love her.
She's the greatest. Great. She's honestly the greatest. But this kind of reminded me of like the whole program that she's doing with the Mind Gym. Exactly. Yeah. And like there's certain aspects to kind of like, it's like a healing thing where you focus on like the body, the mind, certain like other things.
So underrated.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So and yeah, that's a crazy way to look at like fitness and sports and, you know, all that type of stuff. Like I feel like it's a very holistic look, and like it's pretty new. I haven't seen that anywhere. So,
but talk to me more about you understanding what mental health is. Because mental health is huge. أنا شخصيا أصلا والله العظيم مش بهزر، عشان كنت بقول لك قبل ما نبدأ على طول كنت بقول لك COVID changed a lot.
لا for sure.
It changed how it changed my literally my perception of mental health. عشان I had no idea what the fuck was going on in my mind. Bro, my mind is so fucked لحد النهاردة.
Wow.
Yeah. I always مفيش حد بيجي المكان ده، أقسم بالله مفيش حد بيجي الأوضة دي غيره بقول له على إن they should start reflecting.
Yeah.
Because it changed my life, and I'm always going to continue talking about it because it will probably change whoever the fuck is listening's life. بجد. But there are كده زي ما أنت قلت meditation, yoga, sports, whatever it is, but there's just something about sitting down in a quiet place and just writing down your thoughts.
Right.
And understanding and breaking down every single structure that's going on. All right, so I got pissed today.
Right.
Why? Why did I get pissed at my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Is it because deep down I feel like I'm inadequate? And so I compare myself to other people.
Right.
And so something triggers it, and so I need to feel like I'm dominant, and I feel like I need to have control. So I get pissed. So
like retaliate kind of. Yeah.
كل ده معلم أنا في حاجة أقسم بالله في حاجات اكتشفتها عن نفسي.
No way.
أقسم بالله.
See like those moments are so important, you know, like you're it's kind of like you're figuring out who you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
In a sense, it's kind of like you're peeling back a layer and a layer and a layer, and you're getting down
people
to the core.
go their entire life without understanding who they are.
Exactly.
They go their entire life mocking up someone that they're not just because they've been told that they are.
Right.
You go your entire life thinking you're someone and being fed bullshit and being fed lies. It's like your mind is like a body. If you keep feeding your body shit food, if you keep feeding your body shit nutrients, it's the same.
It won't run. Exactly.
It won't run. You've been fed so many there are so many creative people out there that we just don't know about, but just because they haven't gotten the chance to experience who they are.
Exactly.
Families.
And that kind of like brings us full circle back to how we started, and like the part that you're taught to be yourself, but to not be yourself at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's
I agree. That's yeah.
And it's crazy because I really feel like a lot of it has to do with like culture and the influences that we have from like family and traditions and cultures and stuff like that goes on like in the Middle East, and especially here in Egypt. So, and obviously there's nothing wrong with that. Like there's obviously a culture is a history, it's a heritage, it's literally a bloodline of how we became who we are today, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like those pressures sometimes aren't necessary when people have different things going on in their life, you know what I mean? And like different situations, and all the pressure and all that stuff kind of forces you to be someone who you're not, you know what I mean? It's kind of pushing you to be a certain type of person, a certain type of man or whatever you have to be. So like it's crazy. It's tough. Yeah.
That's so you can go so deep with that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go so deep with that, and I agree. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see a lot of people not being themselves. But so like I feel like there also comes a point at any child's life where you're just imitating other people because you want to find who you are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But then again, I feel like 20 is a young age. You're young. You're super young. You don't know shit. فوقك بس إن إحنا يعني you've experienced a lot. You've been through a lot. بنشتغل بنعمل. You have sports. But let's take the average Joe, someone who hasn't been into sports, someone who hasn't been in a detrimental situation,
right?
And he's 20. I feel like that's the time where you should just sit down with yourself and be like, all right, so who am I?
Right.
What are the things that I've been fed since I was a kid that I should like and that I should love, and ايه الحاجات اللي أنا ببص فيها على نفسي بقول برافو عليه.
Right.
فاهم قصدي? Because a lot of people look at themselves and they feel like they're getting good grades, for example, for school, and they're like, all right, no, so I'm supposed to be happy.
Exactly.
But
I'm not, yeah.
But I'm not. But I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And you keep pressuring yourself, like, just be fucking happy.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be
and
happy.
You're trying to push something that's not there.
It's just not there.
Yeah.
فاهم قصدي? But if you score a basket, you get super hyped. You are like, oh, fuck. فاهم قصدي?
Yeah.
It's just one basket.
Exactly.
But you're happy.
That's why like sports is a great refuge for people, and like it's a way to really you're still like in like you're touching base with life kind of generally, but at the same time you're not dealing with all the immediate problems you have now, you know? Like it's literally a confined zone where you it's like a like I don't know how you describe it, but like it's like a helmet or like a shield, you know what I mean? Like as soon as you step in that wall, خلاص, you forget about all the problems that you had, everything that's going on, how your day was going, whatever the case is. You forget about all that and you just focus on one thing, and that's just playing basketball. So that's why sports to me has always been like a huge part of my life, and I really really try to push people to
do sports.
Exactly. And you don't have to like not everyone should play, obviously everyone should play basketball, but like not everyone can play basketball and not everyone likes to play basketball, you know? So it's all about trying to figure out what exactly fits your needs and your wants and capabilities and stuff like that.
I feel like coming full circle, I feel like mental health to you was taking refuge for sports. Was it?
Like it was definitely a form of therapy for me. It was a way to kind of, just like I said before, kind of get away. But at the same time, it was also, for me, it was a sense of validation. It was a sense of whenever I go to basketball, I don't get the treatment that I would get outside, you know what I mean? Especially when I was going through the time of losing my mom and stuff like that. And in Saudi, we were a tight-knit community. Everyone basically knew each other. So instead of getting the sad, you know, pats on the back and the hugs and all that, when I played basketball, it was all that went away and you just focus on one thing, you know? So it was nice to also distract me and kind of help me heal. There was also times where like you take out frustration, anger, whatever itself. Emotion you have exactly in the sport. And yeah, and that's what basketball's been for me.
I love it. I love it. All right. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Let's see.
Shoot at me. We're 1 hour and 15 in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It literally feels like it's been 20 minutes.
Wallah al-azim.
Yeah.
Wallah al-azim. It feels like 20 minutes.
What are you aiming for? Like what are your long-term goals? Like what are you hoping to bring to the table?
Oh, there's a lot of questions in that question.
Yeah.
What am I aiming
to? Loaded question.
There's a lot of questions in that question. What am I aiming to bring to the table? All right. What table are we talking about? Which table?
Whatever table you think you belong to, whatever field you think you influence, you know what I mean? Like whatever stage you set.
All right.
It's loaded.
That's a big question.
But does it have to more like, okay, I'll narrow it down a bit, but like do you feel like
you don't have to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I wanted to bring something to the table before COVID, and now I want to bring something else to the table.
Okay.
After I discovered a lot of new things about myself, after I genuinely started to realize who I am, which I'm still in the process of. I'm not a monk or any of that shit. I felt like I always wanted to bring forward just good vibes, positivity, kind of كله. But now I want to bring forward. Let's say content creation first. Let's say social media kind of كله. Now I genuinely want to bring forward being true to who you are.
It's a message, exactly.
Yeah, just that. عشان positivity and being a good person, being genuine, and being just someone who's good will eventually come through that. Through being true to who you are.
For sure.
That's
very true, yeah.
عشان دي حاجة لاحظتها. I was never true to who I am. I always touched it. Like there were certain moments in my life where I was like, I see you.
Right.
But I was never fully incorporated. Like I was never cocooned in it. فاهم قصدي؟ Now it's more of no, you just need to just genuinely realize who you are and keep doing that and just be you and be happy with it and be proud with it. Whatever it is, whatever your gender is, whatever your fucking goals are, whatever your thoughts look like.
Right.
Best of that, because I realized a lot of things during COVID. I realized that there's a lot of things that I hate. I realized that there's a lot of things that I don't want to continue doing. I realized that there are a lot of people in my life that put so much pressure on me, even if they don't do it, but their perception of me is so important to me, and it just adds more and more pressure.
Exactly.
So I got to a point where I couldn't handle all of it, so I snapped, and when I snapped, things got really bad. My mental health deteriorated. كنت اتفشخت يعني. And I feel like there was definitely a time during COVID, during quarantine specifically, where I was super depressed. I'm just depressed as fuck.
Right.
Genuinely. مش مبسوط، مش حاسس ان انا بعمل اي حاجة، مش حاسس ان حياتي مهمة.
Right.
And at the time, like I had my girlfriend at the time, and she was my backbone, and she stood by me. I love her for that. But يعني it was super hard, it was super difficult. Like
for
people
sure.
underestimate how difficult it is to get to, if you're genuinely depressed. And depression is not a word that you should boggle around. Depression is just as powerful as love.
Exactly.
Like if you say I love you, it's just as powerful as you say I'm depressed, because depression is you just being fed up and just so tired and burnt out of everything, and nothing makes sense anymore.
Exactly.
Nothing's worth it anymore. So even at that point, having people is super important, but you're still, if you can't sit down with yourself and have a conversation with yourself and be at peace, calm, and be not happy, just be at full acceptance of who you are, deep down you're always going to be depressed.
Damn.
That's what I think.
That's deep.
هقولك ليه؟ عشان أنا كنت بخاف أقعد مع نفسي.
Really?
أقسم بالله. تبقى ترعب أقعد مع نفسي. I don't know. عارف ليه؟ My refuge لأن أنا أقعد مع نفسي was if I sit down alone, it's thinking time.
Damn.
It's thinking time حتى مش of what I did. It's thinking time of
who I am.
اللي يا ريت. تعرف it was what? It was alright, now it's time to think of what I need to do. ليه؟ ما كنتش قادر أدي نفسي مجال إن أنا أفكر فأنا مين أو أنا عملت إيه أو how I think about certain things,
right.
how I feel about certain things, because that's not important, because you're a man, because I'm young and I need to be hustling. And عشان كده قلت لك في الأول خالص I feel like hustle culture is overrated.
Yeah.
I got to a point that I was hustling so much and I forgot who the fuck I am,
right.
which I shouldn't blame on hustle culture. بس again
you got caught up in it.
Yeah. It's you sitting down and just being able to have a conversation with yourself all alone with your thoughts is a تعرف if you study اتعملت it's is crazy. If you study اتعملت يقول لك ان people هم جابوا two groups of people وحطوا two groups of people دول في اوض و people were given so they were given two options. Option one is ان هم يقعدوا with no distractions. Okay. No cell phone, nothing, في أوضة لوحدهم بكرسي واحد من غير أي يعني ما فيش إزاز في حواليك أي حاجة just حيطان. Four walls, alright. تخش بيتقفل عليك بتقعد.
Okay.
Alone with your thoughts for I think 20 or 30 minutes, or you get electrically zapped, like you get electrocuted for I think حاجة برضو اللي هو مش voltage عالي قوي بس it hurts like
for sure.
Oh, you're getting electrocuted. You're getting tased. A study concluded in 85% to 90% of people would rather be tased than to sit alone with their thoughts in an empty room.
Damn.
Can you fucking imagine that?
Volumes.
Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's actually insane.
When you think about it, then عشان كده بقول لك it all circles back to you were never taught to just know who that person is, because there are so many fucked up shit that comes up.
Exactly.
So many fucked up shit that comes up. حاجات بقى ليها علاقة with your ego. حاجات ليها علاقة ب your goals. حاجات ليها علاقة with how you were wired as a child. How like your family brought you up. What your family used to do. الكلام ده كله. It all just starts to bubble to the surface, and you're sat there with 20, 30, 40 years of experience or 30 years of living, and you go like, oh, fuck this shit again. All right, just let me just fucking put it down. Let me compress that shit because I don't want to think about it.
Exactly.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like marriage. People who are super, super sadly like married. They just don't want to think about it. خلاص.
Just like avoid it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's have another baby. Let's have another child. It's okay. You just keep... And if you deal with it, your life is going to be much easier. There's so many. All that, I genuinely realized all that during COVID. But I feel like that's why what I want to bring to the table completely changed.
That's amazing.
It went from, I want to be this positive guy I want to be remembered when I die, and I was a good guy. I shared some positive shit. I tried to make people smile and laugh and have a good day. And now it's more of, all right, I really still want to do these things. Like, it means a lot to me. إن حد يمر بالحاجات دي معايا But what's a lot more important is for me to genuinely be able to get to people in a sense that you need to sit down and be true to who you are, and before you do that you need to understand who you are.
Right.
And that process is going to take a lot, but if you get there you're going to be so fucking happy. And by the way, I'm not there. I don't think I'm close.
Right.
But I'm getting there.
Do you think you'll ever, or do you think there ever is a stage where you just like you get there, close, you're done?
I don't think so, because I feel like you're never done.
No, I definitely agree with that.
You're always wired to never be done.
Exactly.
فاهم قصدي؟ عشان كده كنت بقولك في الأول, loving the process, just like you were saying, just like Kobe was saying. Rip Kobe, yeah. Rest in peace. But yeah, loving the process is super important, because once you get there, you're going to think about, all right, so how do I reach self-actualization بقى, فاهم قصدي؟ تبدأ تنط. Once you get that championship you want 2, once you get 2 you want 3.
Yeah.
فاهم؟
Exactly. And like I feel like this is also bragging too much on Kobe, but the way he literally approached things was like, it was like a chess game. So it was kind of like every move was calculated, every move was thought of, everything was done to the highest level possible, you know what I mean? And that way, like that's kind of a way to control your own life and like move around things in your life like chess pieces, but you're in full command, you know what I mean? And that's obviously the teachings that he's given, and that people like Jordan and their workout, like their trainers, Tim Grover, all these people, the things that they taught are things that are very, very valuable and things that you don't really hear every day, you know what I mean? And I really think that incorporating that stuff into your life helps you become better, helps you grow, helps you help other people grow too.
I agree.
So yeah,
I agree 100%. And again, I feel like it's okay to have different mentalities as you grow, and it's okay to I feel like it's okay to want to bring something to the table, and it's okay to love a certain process and just do that.
Right.
Just that.
No, for sure.
فاهم قصدي? And just not do anything else.
Exactly.
That's, yeah, I feel like today the culture of you doing 100 different things is so popularized, and it's put on a pedestal. هو برافو عليك انت بتعمل ده وبتعمل ده وبتعمل ده. طب انا بتفشخ في النص بيطلع ميتين اهلي.
No, exactly.
فاهم قصدي؟ yeah, I feel like loving the process is very important, and I feel like برضو but my big thing is just be true to who you are.
No, for sure.
فاهم قصدي؟ and just acknowledge the shit that you do. Acknowledge the things that you don't like about yourself, and if you can change them. Right. Acknowledge the things that the problems that you have. Acknowledge the people around you, because it puts a lot of things into perspective when you genuinely just start realizing. And all right, so she's been dealing with all that shit when I'm مش ملاحظ أصلا. It makes you grateful for those around you.
No, for sure, yeah. And it's important also, you learn that you can't get through life without or like just being off on your own, you know. Yeah. You need people, you definitely need,
we're social creatures, you definitely need people.
And you need people to like lean on, and people to be rocks, and people to hold it down, you know, and help you out and guide you and teach you, and you know, and be there for sad moments, be there for good moments. That's what life is, you know. And it's not always going to be uphill, but at the same time it's you know, like it's the process. It's falling in love with a routine that you have, you know. When you wake up, you do a certain thing, you get in the zone, you go to work or whatever it is you do, and you're happy, you know what I mean? And it's genuine happiness, not just like a fake smile or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, but like you're actually able to make good decisions, you're able to have good thoughts, good communication skills, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And that's a level that gets overlooked and overshadowed in our community.
I love it. And هقولك على حاجة, we can touch on this and then we can go to sleep, because
yeah.
What time is it, bro? I o'clock. Yeah. What time is it?
It's almost 4.
Wow, 4 a.m. Jesus Christ,
bro. This is actually definition of staying up all night and grinding.
I love it. All right. هقولك على حاجة. I've been I heard a lot of things about, like, I heard a lot of videos, a lot of people, super interesting people talk about happiness, and I feel like ناس كتير قوي يقولك ان انت تبقى مبسوط وان happiness ده it's a place that you get to, when I feel like in reality it's not.
Okay.
I don't feel like happiness is a destination, and I don't feel like happiness is I feel like I've learned through experiences that happiness is a moment. And the more you try to chase that moment, the more that moment takes a toll on you. Because even when you experience it, you're never truly happy.
Right.
But I feel like happiness, in order to get to happiness, I feel like you should be content and satisfied وراضي باللي انت بتعمله في حياتك in general.
Right.
And then you can find certain spikes and peaks of happiness.
Exactly.
Because the problem with spikes and peaks, and there's always
a downfall.
فاهم قصدي?
Exactly.
So what's the point of being happy for 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 months or 5 years if you're going to not be happy?
Exactly.
فاهم قصدي? But I feel like it's so let's say in هي levels. Right. So ان انت بتبدأ من level 0 for example, level 10 is happiness. You're never gonna reach level 10.
Right.
Level 10 اللي هو أعلى حاجة. It's not يعني هو مش level. It's just the ceiling. سقفك. فاهم قصدي? So you can be level 0 بس تتجوز ف it peaks up to a 10 and then it goes down.
Right.
فاهم قصدي؟ ممكن تكسب بطولة, so it peaks up to a 10 and then it goes down.
Exactly.
But if you start just consistently building yourself up through good habits, through having good people around you, through nurturing your body and nurturing your mind, through understanding who you are, through playing a sport that you love, through كل الحاجات دي, you can start going up through these different levels. So you can go from 0 to 1 to 2 all the way up to 8 or 9.
Right.
What's beautiful about that is when you're at 9 or 8 or 7, the down is not as sharp.
Okay.
Fam Ozzy,
that makes sense.
The peak is not as high, so significant, and the down is not as significant.
Right.
So in a sense, you're always happy. But in reality, happiness, that boost of serotonin, اللي هو أنا مبسوط فشخ الدنيا حلوة قوي بحب الناس كلها.
Right.
You're never gonna be in that state.
Exactly.
Fam Ozzy, it's just a very rare moment that you get every now and then.
Right.
But if you go up the ladder of, and I want to reach a place where I'm not happy, but I'm just satisfied. Comfortable, satisfied, content, whatever the word you want to use for it is.
Yeah.
When you get to that, that's when you're quote unquote happy.
Exactly.
What do you think?
I agree with that. That was well put, and it's just like you said, you have to face it within yourself first. Like it's an inner battle first, and then you take it outwards. You know what I mean? Like it starts with you first, and facing the demons, or looking in the mirror, whatever you want to call it. But like it comes down to you really understanding that happiness is situational. You know what I mean? And it's not situational. That's a bad word to use, but like it's heavily influenced by your environment and your surroundings and mood and all that stuff, like the current state that you're in. But at the same time, if you're okay with the longevity of what you're wanting,
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, longevity. yeah, 100%.
But yeah, exactly. If you're looking for that longevity, then you learn that happiness there's like a different level to happiness, a different type of happiness. Not just like a normal smiling all the time, laughing all the time, you know what I mean? And that's huge. Like some people search their whole lives for that. So yeah.
Damn, bro, I love it. I genuinely love it. When are you gonna start the podcast? If you're gonna start it?
I have no idea. I need to get on it though.
You really do.
I need to get
You'd
on
be
it.
a great host, by the way.
For sure.
You were asking really good questions.
Wow, bro. I'm definitely gonna have you on too.
Habibi, of course, we're gonna have another one of these.
Akid.
Yeah.
Try to get a setup like this too.
Bro, whatever it is you need, you let me know على طول.
حبيبي.
على طول.
Okay.
Mus, thank you, Habibi, so much for being here. I know احنا 4 a.m. almost.
Yeah.
God damn. This is officially not the longest, but
the
latest podcast I've ever done in my entire life.
We're here to set records, best of all.
All right, what's your Instagram handle عشان الشباب اللي بيسمعوا؟
Mustafa Roshdy.
Mustafa Roshdy is probably gonna be up and running the podcast, right? What are you thinking about? What's the topics? What Dania? Well, are you so much?
Like kind of like honestly, your whole podcast, your setup, the ideas and previous shows I've seen like Ahmed Tariq's show, Kareem Dash, Kareem Salim.
Shout out to Kareem.
Shout out to all those guys, bro.
Shout out
especially T.
بس yeah, but like T وكريم مش محتاجين shout outs قوي. بس كريم سليم محتاج.
No, bro. Kareem.
Bro, Kareem's off social media also.
No way.
Bro, that shit is crazy. It's
really?
off everything, bro. Everything. لا he's good. كريم ما بيشوفش أي حاجة من الحاجات دي.
That's crazy.
And he's so happy, bro.
That's amazing.
We need to start doing that shit.
Yeah,
Genuinely, just go in. أقسم بالله, go in, post and go out. Just على طول. Kareem is in such a zen place right now. I'm super happy for him. Super happy for him.
Bro, I'm gonna hit him up.
كده shout out Kareem Dash وطارق. طارق خطير. T is great, honestly. Bro. It was one of the best episodes. Yeah.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. He's
I really enjoyed
a great guy
this.
and great hustle, great work.
He's an incredible guy, and I really enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can genuinely see the hustle, see you being a rock. Because you mentioned that a lot. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Mustafa Roshdy.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Habibi, so much for being here. This was great. We're definitely gonna have one super soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you for having me.
Anything else you want to say? Any pieces of advice? Nothing?
No, bro,
you good?
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm good. All right, Habib. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're still listening. And yeah, peace.